What is up, family? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If not, smile because it will get better. So today I want to start a new series called How It's Made, and basically the goal for this series is to show you guys how I put things together, how I do certain effects, how is my thread of process of when I'm putting videos together, and basically show you guys what I do when I'm putting things together, even though I just said that twice. So excuse me. But with that said, guys, basically I just wanted to show you, I don't want to hypernize speed edits and tutorial, and just go ahead and show you guys what I could do, how everything is made, and maybe help you guys answer some questions. With that said, I do have this big video behind the scenes that I will be posting next week, and it's on a project that I'm working on currently, and it's a little bit more in depth. With this time, I want to go ahead and show this final project that I did for my film production, how it came to be, what was my process, and how everything came to be in the last second. With that said, here is the files that I use for this thing. The camera files are right here. All the presets are right here that I use for Premiere. Now, let me answer some questions real quick. What camera am I using? Currently using a Nikon 3300. It's a very simplistic but very straightforward and powerful camera. I am very happy with it. Video settings, 1080, 24 FPS. Now, the reason I shot 24 FPS is because the professor was saying, I want you guys to get accustomed to using 24 FPS. She gave me the option to shoot 60 FPS and 120 FPS, but the final rendering she wanted to be 24. So I went ahead and saved myself some steps and just recorded 20 FPS. Now, with that said, movie settings, high quality, not normal quality. ISO, shutter speed, and all that BS, I was doing everything manual. Now, if you're not super familiar with the camera or with the camera in general, you guys could use manual setting just to have you have a final footage better than anybody else. That's fine. I am not here to be judging. Everyone has to start from somewhere. With that said, let's get to the timeline. So on the timeline, it's very consistent with clips, video clips, text, and etc. Now, my first process was actually thinking what I wanted to shoot. Now, once I figured out that I wanted to shoot just stuff around the city, I went ahead was what song do I want to use to tell the story with this thing. Now, depending the song, depending the tone of the song, or depending what's going on with the song, it will help you set the tone for the whole overall video. Because songs are very powerful. That's why they have a big ass impact in films, and that's why it has a big ass impact when it comes to montage or stuff like that, because it will set the tone or it will set the rhythm. For me, I decided to take a more slow metal song. The song I was using is by G-Eazy called Sleepless, and it's actually the remix, not the original one. So if you guys are familiar with the song, this is how it sounds, and let me show you guys real quick. Oops, so the raw footage, I need to mute this real quick. But that was the overall song. It's very calm, it's very mellow, it's all piano, and it's all fun. Even when it comes right here where the peak starts upping, it's kind of the same tone. Don't lose yourself with it. Even though there's more vocals now, or there's still the rhythm of the piano. So I decided to cut to the piano, and what I decided to do was a shot will sync up to the cut, and then I would skip a beat just to have like a consistency, just because I wanted to have the viewer be like, okay, I know the rhythm of the song, okay, I'm getting used to it, like cut, okay, cut, and then suddenly it's like, oh, there's no cut there. It's like, oh, there's a cut here. Oh, okay. So that's why you guys will see some inconsistency of the measurement of the clips, is because of that. I was not cutting to every single beat, but at the same time I was. Now, how I came to be was right here. This pink one is a text file. You cannot see it because it's masked. Then all the blue ones are all clips. Right here, when there's two clips on top of it, what I did was, let me go ahead and mute it. That's how it looks originally. That's how it looks when the final product came out. What I did with this clip was I stabilized it, because when I shot it was windy as hell and my camera was actually moving a lot. So I stabilized it, and then I went to opacity right here, and I changed it from normal, this is how it would look normal, to hard light, and that's what it did. It basically overlaid two clips into one. So right here, the clip is actually going to be all blue, but because the last shot above it is a sunset shot, the sunset will overlay it and it will make this just blend in. The same goes to here. I didn't do anything major to the clip other than color correcting, but we'll go to that later. And then the last one, it will be the same, is right here. um, the original clip, once it loads up, it's right here. It's just a shot of a park. And then once I unmute layer 2, I went ahead and did this, and this is how the shot looks before the other one. And that's how it is. I went ahead and did this, and then after I left some alone time for the clip because I don't want to just have a full-on overlay stuff. Now the third layer, I don't know what I did on the third layer. I think I just left it empty just to have an empty layer. And then the fourth layer is where it comes an overlay. So this is on burn, I would say burn film overlay, and basically what it does, it gives you burn film. So basically, let me look at it real quick on the raw footage. So this is how it looks. An overlay that I was using is like this. I went ahead and stretched it, so I made it where it says frame to size, go to frame size, so it covers everything, and then I put it on top. After that, what I did was just mask it, because if you don't mask it, then obviously the whole clip is gonna be white. So here how it looks normal, and you know you have white stuff in there, so you don't want to have that. So I went ahead and put multiply, so you don't get the white stuff in there, you just get the burn of it. So it's like a version of masking. The second thing I did to this film damage overlay was I changed the opacity, so the how strong is the thing. Originally it's 100, so this is how it looks 100. It's a lot more defined. Now some of the feedback that I was getting when I was doing the rough draft was my friends were saying it's too like out there, and it was gonna take away the view from it's gonna take the attention from the viewer. So we were all debating, okay, like I don't want to lose that because I like it, so what can I do to it? So they were saying just lower it. So we went ahead and made a happy medium on 40. It's not too dull, but it's not too strong. It's just good enough to be there. You're like, oh, this is pretty cool, but you still are paying attention to the clip. Now the last layer, which is the top layer, is basically the cinematic part. As you guys can see, this is a full-on shot, and I went ahead and add this just to give the cinematic taste to it, bottom and top, which is why right here, you know, again you have the cinematic look, and it's making it a little quote more professional. I went ahead and made sure that I wasn't cutting anything important in the clips. For example, right here, I'm not cutting any important information. Everything that I want to show is right there. The second shot is the same thing, it's more windmills, and I'm making sure that everything is right there. Again, the film overlay is right here. And going back to the text, boom, it's white, black text, just basically telling you guys information about what you guys are seeing. So the town is Tracy. What I want to show right here, the population is that, just a little short information. Right here in this is this is simply text just saying, oh, it's just a quiet town, it's just nothing more to do, and stuff like that. And then second right here is just more information about what you might gonna see in the rest of the clips. So that is the overall view of what I did with the clip. Oh yeah, I remember why I have a fucking third layer. Here you go, it's right here. There is a Easter egg of a cow. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There's a cow right there, which is why I had the cow emoji. Now the second thing I did was obviously color correct. Color correcting is a very important part of editing, just making the clips look better. I did a pretty good job when it came to shooting it in the afternoon, so I had a lot more color vibrance, and I didn't change a lot of it to the clip. I might have done like, oh, here's a little bit color correcting here, and that was it. So right here in the temperature, I made it a little bit warmer because I want to have like an orangey sky. The tint is 0. The exposure, I did change it just a tiny little bit, and when I mean a tiny little bit, I mean like 0.1. Like that's how small it was. Everything else is the same. Blacks, I made a little bit darker because I wanted some colors to pop out, and everything else is simple. We go ahead to the effects. I did change a couple things right here. I did do a little bit of color correcting, the 3-way one, and it's very easy, it's very fun, it's not that hard, just play with it. That's how I tell people, and that's basically what I did to almost every single clip, was just between color correcting, very simple basic correction, and then jumping back and forth. Right here I corrected the clip you see no third wheel, but I did change it a little bit here in the basic one. I think this is the one where there's a car driving. Let me see. Yep. Again, there's not a lot of big changes. I did change a little bit here, just very, very little, and nothing for the curve on the 3-color wheel. And the same goes to this clip right here. Just a little bit basic color correction. I did put a little bit of the 3-way, but again, I'm not changing a lot of things. I did make it look a little bit more like it was the middle of the day. I did shoot this in the sunset at the same time, but I think the way I color corrected, it came out to be a little bit too bright, more than I wanted it to be. For the overlay where it's the sunset and it's this, I really didn't change that much at all, because the sunset, it was very beautiful, so I was like, I'm not going to change a lot of it because it is fun, it is beautiful, it's just a pretty good clip. Overall, I was pretty prideful about it, as you guys can see. When it comes to this shot, I really didn't change a lot of it because it was very, very simplistic. The color was pretty cool. I like how the tone was. It was just like all soft and just beautiful to look at. And then the last clip, or the first clip of the everyone gets to see, I did do a lot of color correcting here because the shot was a little bit different. As you guys can see right here, I turn it off. The shot is very, very flat, so I wanted to give it a more in-depth look, which is what it looks like this. The temperature, I did lower it. The exposure, I changed it just 0.1%. Contrast, I did change it. The highlights, I did change it. The whites and the blacks, I did change. I did not do any third wheel color correction. I thought with this basic one, I did the job. Again, before, after, before, after. So I did went from flat to something very more vivid to see. And other than that, guys, I didn't do anything more crazy to it. It was just cut to the songs, cut to the beat, cut to what I want to show, correct a little bit, show a little bit more information, set up the overlay and stuff like that. And then again, when it comes to exporting, these are the settings that I use. I went ahead and no, it's not gonna let me export the media. Alright guys, so it seems like it's gonna let me render or to show you guys the render preset. So I went ahead and just put the whole sequence in and out, so that would tell me that it's set like the whole timeline, because I don't have anything hidden on the side, so I don't have to worry about anything. It will tell you the total right here. And the format is MP4, or the format you guys are gonna find in Premiere Pro is H.264. Again, that's MP4. The preset is custom, but I actually just go ahead and scroll down all the way where it says HD 1080 and then just go ahead and just reformat it. Here is the summary that I put on the source. The source again is 1080, 23 or 24 FPS, whatever you want to call it, and then the audio right here. And again, here's the source of the output that I'm gonna be touching with it. So again, basic is 1080. I just went ahead and changed it by accident, but it's 1080 resolution. The frame rate is 23. I want to match it to the project again. Freeorder is progressive. Aspect ratio is square pixels, so it's 1.0. The TV, I went ahead and just, NTC. That's basically how I render. Profile high, level should be 5.2. I put render at maximum depth because I wanted to render the best as could. Right here, I put VRB 2 pass, or VBR, my bad, 2 pass, because I wanted to render and go through it twice just to make sure that it could render the best it could. The target is 16, the maximum is 20. That is the settings that YouTube said that I could render at, so I went ahead and did that. This video is not a VR video. Maximum render the best quality. Obviously, you want it to be as on point as you could be. The audio, I think I left it all the same. I didn't touch it. I only changed the bitrate to 320, which is something I started doing recently. And I went ahead and export. That's basically what I did here, guys. There's nothing too crazy. There's nothing too majestic about it. And I hope this showed you guys what I do, what I could do, and stuff like that. Again, this is just the first video of many to come. I am working on another one for next week. Hopefully you guys enjoy this and enjoy the series. Until next time, peace.